The moment when I knew that this was absolutely the right choice for me, that I did the right thing, was maybe my second week of internship. I was interning at a high school, checking in with new students to see how they're settling in. And as soon as I closed my office door and asked the student how it's going, tears just started flowing out of her face and she just started crying. And I realized a year ago or even a few months ago, I probably would have just been like in total shock. Like there's a human person crying right in front of me. But instead I realized like no panic at all. And instead I just was like, oh, I know exactly what to do. And then that's when I realized like, I'm so thankful that this is the program that I chose.
I think during this program I grew tremendously. Going into it, had no idea what I was doing, or I felt that way, and I grew where I had so much confidence to the point where now I'm still finishing my program and I have my own classroom of 23 fourth graders that I am responsible of every day. So 2 years ago I would have never thought I would be in the spot that I am now.
Well, I think I would really just like to thank my cohort. We were all in this from the summer and we've been working towards this end goal all together, and so I really want to thank them because they've been my support system, and I'm sure that we all rely on each other not more than we should, but we definitely rely on each other, and I think it's great that we've created that bond for one another.
I remember 2 or 3 terms in, just something kind of clicked with the courses and with what I was learning. I realized where my strengths fit into this field and how I could use my strengths, working with college students and working in higher education, and kind of embrace that part of me that really loves policy and administration. And as unfun as those things are, realizing that I can use my strengths in a leadership position to do good things for students in those ways. And so that was a good feeling to kind of see where my own strengths and my own leadership and abilities fit into how I could help students.
Yeah, I think the most powerful thing about the program is the amazing confidence I now have. It's the confidence in my ability to learn. It's confidence in my own, the validity of my own experience. A lot of what we do in PACE in adult learning is experiential learning. And so the power of all the experiences that we as students bring to our learning really came through in this program for me. And then also now my confidence in being able to facilitate learning for other people and to support them.
I really liked all my professors I worked with in the ELP program. They were all extremely helpful. I would just thank all them, all my colleagues in class I learned from them as much as I did from the professors. So that was a huge benefit. I can't say enough about the PACE faculty, how they would just bend over backwards to help us out. Even if we weren't their particular student or they weren't our advisor, they would still go out of their way to help us out. So thank you to all of them.
The very first class that I had, and I knew absolutely nothing about counseling anyone. I'd never taken any class. I was a Spanish major. I was like, what the heck am I doing here? And then a couple people had said, I'm a math major. I come from this background. There's so many different backgrounds and everyone was so welcoming. That was the very first time that I had realized that, okay, I'm in the right place. I want to be here. And that just continued to grow, and ever since then I've never regretted it.
I would say that going into the program and what I expected from education, what I want, obviously working for students and trying to impassion interest in science was a given, but I wasn't expecting the level of social justice focus that happened, and there was a lot of thoughts and inspiration and interest that kind of came out because there's a lot of things happening in this planet that need more voices, more people to understand what's going on, and to find a voice to kind of bring that into the classroom, to really try to impassion students to do that, which was something that I've never explicitly thought about.
I always sort of believed that as a teacher, you would have to know absolutely everything all the time. Like, you needed all the answers to all the questions. And it was really daunting, and it made me feel like perhaps I wasn't totally prepared to be a teacher. But after everything that I learned in the program and all the field experience I was getting, I felt a lot more confident. And I also got to see a lot of really good teamwork in action. So I got to see other teachers not know the answers and ask each other, and that being a totally acceptable thing to do. So I felt much more confident about, as long as I have a team, I'll be okay. I don't have to be the one with all the answers. So that definitely helped with my confidence.
What I think is really unique about the counseling program here at Portland State is that it's very sophisticated, in that not only is it rigorous in an academic way, but also it challenges you to grow personally. So many of our assignments and projects and papers have to do with our own personal stories. And I think as a result of that, we can all say that we are very grounded in who we are. We are very self-aware individuals as a result of this program. And that didn't come from reading textbooks and doing research. Although that is an incredibly important part of our career and our profession, I think that what is really sophisticated about this program is that it encourages you to grow personally. Because how else are you going to be a good therapist unless you really know who you are?
I think there were a lot of moments along the way in the program that reminded me that I was doing what I should be doing. Mostly actually working in the classroom and working with kids. After the summer, we just took 16 credits. It was wild and crazy and a lot of studying, and it kind of lost sight of, what am I doing again? Why am I doing this? And getting to actually start right in the fall with the September experience and get in the fall practicum and actually work with kiddos again was refreshing, and it reminded me of my purpose. And getting to do that twice a week reminded me of why I'm actually learning all these things. So that was helpful to keep me on track.
So I had a teaching philosophy in the beginning of the program, but after the 2-year program with all the classes I take and also including all the practicum I had in PPS, it kind of consolidated my teaching philosophy, such as every student can succeed, no matter what background you come from, no matter what your race, what your high SES or low SES, as long as we're teaching has a purpose and the student learning has a purpose, we all can succeed.
So during my time in the program, I definitely learned how to be a better teacher. Really, I'd been teaching for about 4 years before I started the program, and I felt really confident in my practices. And then now going through this whole process, I just learned all the things that I always felt were missing, and they kind of just came together in kind of this beautiful puzzle. And so my experience in the program has been beautiful, really, because all of the things that I learned, I directly applied them to the classroom, and I saw a shift in the way the energy was in my classroom and building. And I even had administrators come into the room and say it feels good in here, and I attribute that to all the things that I was learning and implementing directly from my program.